What if the biggest reason you're struggling to build wealth isn't that you don't earn enough, but that you're building wealth in the wrong order? Most people are taught a simple formula. Get a job. Earn more. Buy a better lifestyle. Pay the bills. And invest whatever is left. But there's a problem. By the time most people reach the investing stage, there's often very little left to invest. Imagine two people. Person A earns $60,000. Person B earns $150,000. At first glance, you'd assume person B is wealthier. But income isn't wealth. Income is simply the amount of money flowing into your financial system. What matters is what happens after that money arrives. If every increase in income immediately produces a bigger apartment, a more expensive car, more subscriptions, more travel and more monthly obligations, then your income may be growing. But your financial freedom might not be. This is where lifestyle inflation becomes dangerous. You get a raise. Your brain interprets it as permission to upgrade your life. The old apartment suddenly feels too small. The old car suddenly feels embarrassing. The old phone suddenly feels outdated. And slowly, the money that could have become an asset becomes a collection of monthly obligations. The strange part is that none of these decisions necessarily feel irresponsible individually. That's why the trap works. Now here's where the thinking changes. Instead of asking, "What can I afford now?" a wealth-building mindset asks, "What can this money produce?" That's a completely different question. One focuses on consumption. The other focuses on capacity. A new income stream. A business. An investment. Education that increases earning power. Or simply financial reserves that give you more options. The objective isn't to never spend money. It's to avoid turning every increase in income into a permanent increase in expenses. The first part of building wealth backwards is understanding financial margin. Margin is the space between what comes in and what goes out. If you earn $8,000 a month and spend $7,900, you have very little room to maneuver. But if you earn $8,000 and consistently spend $5,500, you've created financial breathing room. That difference gives you options. You can build cash reserves, reduce expensive debt, invest, develop another income source, or take a calculated business opportunity. Wealth needs room to grow. Here's another reason people build wealth backwards. They confuse looking wealthy with becoming wealthy. A luxury car can look like success. A designer wardrobe can look like success. An expensive apartment can look like success. But appearance doesn't tell you what's happening underneath. Two people can drive the same car. One may own productive assets worth millions. The other may simply have a large monthly payment. From the outside, they look identical. Financially, they could be living completely different lives. This brings us to the second major shift. Stop thinking only about what your money can buy. Start thinking about what your money can own. An asset can potentially generate income, appreciate in value, or provide some other economic benefit. That could mean ownership in a business, certain investments, real estate, intellectual property, or skills and systems that increase your future earning capacity. None of these are guaranteed to make money. Every asset carries risk. But the fundamental difference is important. Consumption usually ends with the purchase. Ownership can potentially continue producing value after the purchase. This is where time becomes powerful. Imagine someone consistently directing part of their financial margin toward productive assets. At first, the progress may look boring. The account doesn't suddenly explode. The first few years can feel almost insignificant. But then something changes. The person isn't relying entirely on their next paycheck anymore. Their financial system has started doing some of the work. And that is one of the biggest differences between simply earning money and building wealth. Income pays you today. Assets can potentially create value for you tomorrow. So if the principle is so simple, why don't more people follow it? Because humans naturally value immediate rewards. A new car gives you an immediate emotional payoff. A luxury vacation gives you an immediate experience. A larger home can immediately make you feel successful. But putting money into an asset that may benefit you years from now? That's harder to feel. There is no applause. No one sees your brokerage account growing quietly. No one congratulates you for avoiding an unnecessary payment. Wealth building often rewards decisions that feel less impressive today. for benefits that become much more valuable later. There's another shift that becomes increasingly important as wealth grows. Time. When every dollar requires another hour of your labor, your income has a ceiling. But when you build systems, businesses, investments, intellectual property, or other productive resources, you're no longer relying exclusively on your own hours. This doesn't mean wealthy people don't work. Many work extremely hard. The difference is that they're often trying to make their effort more scalable. Instead of asking, "How can I work more?" the better question can become, "How can I make 1 hour of work create more value?" So what does the better order actually look like? It isn't one universal formula. But as a general framework, think about it this way. First, increase your earning power. Second, create financial margin. Third, build an appropriate cash reserve and manage expensive debt. Fourth, direct some of your surplus toward productive assets. Fifth, develop additional sources of income or ownership where appropriate. And finally, upgrade your lifestyle deliberately, instead of automatically. The point isn't to live cheaply forever. The point is to make sure your lifestyle doesn't consume the very resources that could eventually give you more freedom. Imagine your income increases by $20,000. You have two choices. You can allow the entire increase to disappear into a more expensive lifestyle. Or you can use part of it to strengthen your financial foundation while still enjoying some of the upgrade. That's the principle. You don't have to reject every luxury. You don't have to live like you're broke. You simply need to prevent every increase in income from becoming an equal increase in consumption. Because if your income rises by 20%, while your financial obligations rise by 20%, you may feel richer without actually becoming much wealthier. The real lesson isn't that spending money is bad. It's that wealth is built through decisions that preserve your future options. More income can help. Saving can help. Investing can help. Business ownership can help. But the sequence matters. If every raise immediately becomes a new obligation, you're building a bigger lifestyle. If some of that increase becomes margin, then assets, then ownership, you're building something different. You're building a financial system. And that is the difference between simply making more money and deliberately building wealth. If you want to go deeper into the principles behind building and protecting wealth, check out the Billionaire Wealth Blueprint. It breaks these ideas down into a practical framework you can study and apply to your own financial decisions. You'll find it in the description and pinned comment. And if this video changed the way you think about income, don't stop here. Watch our next video on why rich people think in systems, not salaries. Because once you understand the system behind wealth, you start seeing money very differently.